Hi, this is Kendra with True TV, and I'm back with another video. This is going to be a second parter to many excuses of the black man. And I wanted to just say it like this, because a lot of times what people do not understand is, in society, and I will say white society, through social media, through the music, through movies and TV, a lot of the propaganda is to keep black men without accountability, keep black men young and boyish-like as possible. That's why we celebrate stuff like a Future having all different type of baby mamas. That's why we celebrate stuff like Chris Brown, being childlike and easily tempered. Well, back in the day, he not like that so much no more. But even the youthfulness of him, always dancing and doing this, that, and the third. It is always celebrated to keep the black man a boy. That's why they call black men boys, even no matter how old that black man get. It is to keep the black man a boy as long as you can, because when you keep him a boy, he does not grow up and mature into a good man that he can be for somebody's child, for somebody's daughter, to raise his children correctly. And the reason why I say this is because I realize that in society, accountability for a black man is almost certain to never happen. It's to the point where black men started flipping the script on us, saying things that we should be saying to them, to us. No accountability, none. They talk about single children raised in single family homes as if there was no participation on their own, as if they were the ones who did not turn around and lead these women without the fathers for their children. They also act like, oh well, that child wasn't raised, as if your non-participation did not play a role in the fact that that boy is effeminate and not raised right, or if that girl is a wayward whore and not raised right. You're like completely removing yourself from the equation. Like all these women went and got IVF and went and artificially inseminated them children. And so, again, this poor accountability is the biggest problem in our community, right? True to us. So I'm staying true to the topic, right? You got videos where these young boys like, oh, I'm going to out my mom. My mom kept me from my dad. You don't know why she kept you from your dad. If at all, that's true, right? Because not every black woman had an issue with their children know their father. The men just did not want to know these kids. They moved, like that man said in another Instagram video, once he moved on with his woman, he renounced the kid as well. Right? It's no longer his responsibility. And that's how a lot of these men think. Well, I ain't with her no more, so the kid is with her. It ain't mine. I don't care. A lot of them, they would, if I divorce the woman, I divorce the child. And a lot of them come with that type of mentality. And so sometimes, like the mother who, there was one, I don't know if this is true or not, or if it was a skit, but it was a video that was also on Instagram where the son outed his mother and was like, okay, mommy, daddy told me, I went behind your back and spoke to my father. She said, all right. He said, well, my father said that you kept me from him. And he was like, well, I was like 4 or 5 years old. And the mother was like, well, I did. So he was like, well, why? And she said, because when I went to go pick you up, first and foremost, I took care of you. I bought all your clothes, everything your father didn't. I can't remember the story fully verbatim, but if you know and watched it, you know what I'm talking about. And she said, when I came back, the shoes was, I had bought you some Jordans. Shoes was missing. You say you ain't want to go back to your father's house no more. And, you seem a bit disheveled, I guess she was trying to express to her son. And you did, and your father, and your shoes was missing, and you say you ain't want to go back. And so I said, you ain't got to go back. I didn't want to, if you were going through something that is unforeseen, I didn't let you go back for your protection. But now that you got all these incels speaking on here, now they trying to have they trying to bring up mommy issues to justify them not being the men that they should be. They're not providing for their children. They're not taking care of their home. They're not doing what they should do. And now they got an excuse. Mommy didn't let me see my daddy. So now, because mommy didn't let me see my daddy, here go the excuse. So I didn't become the right man, and I didn't become monogamous, and I didn't treat my woman right, and women, and that's why I'm not raising and taking care of my kids. That's why I refuse to pay child support. I refuse to choose the right woman to be with so that I can settle down and make a family. Always an excuse. Always an excuse. Yo, you not having no daddy is not an excuse to not raise your children. I didn't have an example. You think I had an example because my mother was in the house? My mother just showed me how men could hurt me. So I'm seeing men through the eyes of my mother, which is not a good example. That does not give me an excuse to not know how to properly love or respect a man. No excuse does it give me. No excuse. Because I wouldn't want to be mistreated. Therefore, I should know, because I don't want to be mistreated. Just human nature. Just using logic, I should want to treat somebody the way I want to be treated. Meaning, I don't want to get cheated on. So therefore, I won't cheat. I don't want to be lied to. Therefore, I do not lie in a relationship. I want to be nurtured and taken care of. So I will reciprocate those same qualities to my spouse. Point blank, period. I didn't have a father does not excuse me to be mean to men. It also does not excuse me to go out and use that as an excuse to lay with every man to find that man. You get what I mean? We know women do it, but it's not an excuse. I can choose to say, in spite of the fact that my father left me, I am loved. I am loved by God. I am loved by my mother. I am loved by my siblings. I am loved. I love myself. Learn to get the help necessary help needed for me to understand how to love myself in spite of not having that father. But it does not justify me now not being a mother to my child or walking away from my child. Like it should not justify men doing the same. It does not justify you not being a provider. Accountability is the issue. And they keep y'all having so many excuses that you do not take accountability for your actions because you got somebody you could blame. And as long as you got somebody you could blame and you don't have to take a self-assessment, you will continue in that behavior. You will not grow up and see where you have done wrong to be able to change that behavior because you got an excuse and you got somebody to blame. This is the problem in our society, and nobody wants to talk about that. Black men need to start taking accountability. If you want these children raised in a certain way, then be there to raise them that certain way you want them to be raised. She cannot do all of that by herself. It's hard enough being having your own mental hang-ups, your own hang-up, and raising children by yourself and having to deal with their hang-ups too. Be in that woman life if you want your daughter a certain way and you want your son a certain way. Stop teaching your sons to go out there and have sex unprotected and just be with any old everybody. Teach them how to buffer their body so that they able to find out what a woman think like so they can choose the right woman. You don't want your daughter out there being no hoe? Then be in her life. Teach her how to love herself and how she gonna look in the eyes of men. Teach her something. Install in her moral, some type of moral compass to make her keep her legs closed. That she not fighting for the attention of every man due to the lack of fatherly guidance and love and affirmation. Be there for your son so he not misconstruing male affirmation for homosexuality. He ain't out here trying to impress his boys because he's self-assured within himself from the affirmation of his father that he can think for himself. The men not being there is the problem, but it ain't the woman's problem. Don't say that you not there because of her. And if all else fails, you pull a Chris Brown. You go get full custody of your children if you feel like that girl's mind is so messed up that she shouldn't be nobody's mother. You think she's so crazy, but you leave your kids with her every day. So, and she's in the mind of them. You think she's speaking against you, but you let that woman raise those children to speak against you. You don't know what's going on in that home. You ain't there. You don't know if she's speaking good or bad. So be present. Speak to your children like something. So you know what's going on in their life. All issues ain't because of the woman. Take accountability. Stop letting them give you excuses to not show up. Just because you have an excuse don't mean it's valid. to continue on in a behavior that's counterproductive to what you want to see in society. You want to talk about how bad the kids are, you want to talk about how unraised they are, but you don't want to be the one to raise them. It don't make no sense to even speak on the topic or the subject matter if you're not going to do nothing to better the situation. Now you just running your mouth, you gossiping. This is Kendra with True Us TV, y'all. Like, share, and subscribe. Stay up, stay blessed. Put God first above all else. Peace out. Bye.